Once upon a time, in a very beautiful village in the north, there was a king loved by all because he was as wise as he was kind. His big heart reached out to everyone, making sure they were happy and safe. Sarkin Danjuma had a large family with two wives. His first wife, Aisha, gave him a daughter, a princess as beautiful as the morning sun. Then there was Zainab, his second wife, who gave him two brave sons, future kings of the land. The princess, Zainab, was known for her playful heart. Every day, she would run barefoot out of the palace, laughing and shouting, playing games, and having fun. She would go to the river, splash water, and get all muddy. Her dress got dirty, and her hair was a mess, but she didn't care. She felt happy and free. But not everyone thought this was how a princess should act. "She is too wild," people would whisper. "Why doesn't she behave like royalty?" they wondered. This made her mother, Aisha, very worried. She would often sit her down, her voice soft but firm. "You are a princess, my dear. It's time to act like it." But Zainab would just giggle and run off, her spirit as free as the wind. She wanted to be like everyone else, to play, to explore, and to love the land she would one day watch over. This made some in the village call her foolish. "Why can't she see she's not like us?" they'd say. But Zainab didn't mind. She believed being true to oneself was more important than wearing a crown. So despite her mother's worries and the villagers' whispers, Zainab continued to dance with the world, her heart as wild and free as the beautiful village she called home. In this village, there was usually a festival that happened every year. This wasn't just any festival. It was for the princess's brothers to find brides. On the day of this festival, the village square was alive with colors, music, and the sweet smell of festival foods. Beautiful girls from the village, and even from places far away, came. They wore their prettiest dresses and danced beautifully, hoping one of the princes would pick them to be a bride. But in the palace, Zainab watched from a window, her thoughts far away from the glitter and the gold. When men came asking for her hand, she would find reasons to say no. "He's too proud," she would say. "He thinks his gold can buy love," she would sigh. Even when a very, very rich man from another village came with lots of gifts, Zainab just shook her head. She splashed water on him when he said he wanted to marry her to make her his seventh wife. That made everyone in the village talk. "How foolish," they said, turning away all these rich and powerful men. Her parents, Sarkin Danjuma and Queen Aisha, were puzzled and a bit sad. "Why won't you marry?" they'd ask. "Your brothers are ready, and you are the elder." But Zainab would only smile and say, "When I find true love, I will know." The festival for her brothers was beautiful. Maidens danced and laughed, hoping to catch the prince's eyes. Though Zainab admired the courage of these girls, her heart longed for something different. She didn't want a love that was found in a day. She wanted a love that understood her, that saw beyond her crown. As the festival ended and her brothers found their brides, the village talked even more. "What will become of the foolish princess?" they whispered. But Zainab wasn't worried. She believed in her heart that true love wasn't something you could find in a festival. It was something that found you in its own time and its own way. As the seasons changed and the moon danced its way through the sky, Zainab grew into a beautiful young woman. She watched the leaves turn from green to gold, thinking about love and what it meant to her. She saw her brothers happy with their brides, and something stirred in her heart. Maybe, just maybe, it was time to open her heart to love. But it had to be true love, the kind that saw her for who she really was. One evening, under a sky filled with stars, Zainab went to her father, Sarkin Danjuma, with a request. It was a request that made the king's eyebrows rise in surprise. "Father," she said, her voice echoing with hope, "I want a festival of my own, a festival where men can show their talents and skills. I want to find love, but it must be true love." Sarkin Danjuma looked into her eyes, seeing the earnestness shining back at him. He knew his daughter was different, her spirit free and wild. At first, he thought this was not a part of the tradition of the land, but nevertheless, he thought maybe this was her way of finding love. So, with a nod and a heart full of hope, he agreed. "Let there be a festival," he announced. The village stirred with excitement once more. Word spread like wildfire, from the corners of the village to lands far away. Suitors prepared to win the heart of Princess Zainab. They practiced their skills, polished their talents, and dreamt of love. The village buzzed with anticipation. Tailors sewed fine clothes, chefs prepared feasts, and musicians tuned their instruments. This was going to be a festival like no other. Zainab watched as the village transformed. She saw the eagerness in the eyes of the suitors and the joy in the hearts of the villagers. She didn't know what the festival would bring, but she felt a flutter of excitement in her own heart. Maybe, just maybe, among the jesters, the poets, and the warriors, she would find the one who could see beyond the crown. As the day of the festival drew near, the air filled with a sense of wonder. Zainab looked at herself in the mirror, her smile saying what words could not. She was ready to step into the unknown, ready to find love, but only if it was true. The village waited, the suitors readied themselves, and the stars watched from above. It was the beginning of something magical, something that could change her life forever. The day of the grand festival arrived, shining bright with the sun's smile. The village square was alive, buzzing like a beehive with excitement. Men from the village and lands far away came, their hearts set on winning Princess Zainab. They came dressed in their finest, muscles gleaming, smiles wide, and gifts in hand. Some brought gold, others boasted of their lands, and many showed off their strength and beauty, each hoping to catch the eye of the princess. Zainab watched quietly, her eyes sparkling with mischief. She saw the efforts of the suitors, each trying to outdo the other, but deep in her heart, she knew that gold and strength were not what she sought. She wanted someone who could see beyond the surface, who could understand her heart. So as the sun began to dip, casting golden light across the village, Zainab stood before the crowd. "We have a challenge," she announced, her voice clear and strong. "To win my heart, you must do more than show your wealth or strength. You must guess my real name." A hush fell over the crowd. Names? But who knew the princess's name? She was known far and wide simply as Princess Zainab. Her real name was a mystery, lost to all. The suitors were stunned. Guess her name? It was a task that seemed impossible. They had prepared to show their might and wealth, not to guess names. Murmurs spread through the crowd, a mix of confusion and curiosity. How could they find the name of the princess? But Zainab stood firm, her challenge hanging in the air like a riddle. It was a test not of wealth or strength, but of wisdom and patience. She wanted to see who would look beyond the titles, who would take the time to truly know her. The village buzzed with questions. How will they find the name? Is it a quest, a puzzle? The suitors looked at each other, their confidence shaken. The princess watched, a smile playing on her lips. She had turned the tables, challenging the suitors to look beyond the surface, to seek a deeper connection. As the festival ended, the suitors left with their minds buzzing. They had come to show off their best, only to be met with a challenge they had not expected. Zainab had shown her cleverness, making it clear that she sought a love that was true, a love that saw beyond the crown and the title. The village whispered of the princess's test, wondering who, if anyone, could rise to the challenge. It was a story that would be told for days to come, a tale of a princess who sought love in her own unique way. The challenge had been set, and now it was up to the suitors to find the answer. The quest for the princess's name had begun. In the village, where everyone was busy guessing and whispering about the princess's challenge, there lived a man named Mustapha. Mustapha was known to all, but not for reasons one might expect. He was the village drunkard, often seen stumbling and mumbling, his days spent in a haze of laughter and wine. Most considered him foolish, a man of no consequence. But beneath the surface, there was more to Mustapha than met the eye. When Mustapha heard about the princess's challenge, something stirred within him. He saw what others didn't, a chance, a glimmer of hope. Why not me, he thought. Why can't I win the heart of the princess? So with a determination that surprised even himself, Mustapha set out on a quest to discover the true name of Princess Zainab. Day after day, Mustapha followed Zainab, not too close, just a shadow among the trees. He watched her laugh and play, her spirit as free as the birds above. But no matter how closely he listened, her name remained a mystery. She called herself by nicknames, and there was a secret language of smiles and glances. Then one day, fate took a hand. As Zainab wandered near the forest edge, full of joy and mischief, she didn't see the hidden pit before her. With a gasp and a tumble, she fell in, her laughter turning to cries of fright. "Help!" she cried. her voice echoing through the trees. Please, someone. Mustapha, hidden behind a bush, watched in shock. This was his chance, not to win a challenge, but to do something good, something right. But before he could move, he heard Zainab's brothers shout, Amir to the rescue, and then, Bello's coming too. Mustapha's eyes widened. Names, the names of the princess's brothers spilled like precious gems. He watched as Amir and Bello worked together, finding a long stick to help their sister. Hold on, Amina, they called, their voices filled with love and concern. With a heave and a haul, the brothers pulled Zainab from the pit, their arms wrapping around her in a tight hug. Mustapha, hidden still, felt a warmth in his heart. He had found her name, Amina, but he had also seen the love they shared, a love that went beyond any challenge. Filled with a new resolve, Mustapha stepped out from his hiding place, his heart beating like a drum. He knew what he had to do. With a shout that carried across the village, he declared, I know her name, Amina. The village turned in astonishment. Mustapha, the one they called a fool, had done what none could. He had discovered the secret that lay at the heart of the challenge. It was a moment of triumph, not just for Mustapha, but for Amina too. She had found someone who saw beyond the games, someone who had taken the time to truly know her. As the news spread, the village buzzed with excitement. Mustapha, once the village drunkard, was now the talk of the town. His strategy, born of patience and observation, had revealed the true name of Princess Amina. It was a story that would be told for generations, a tale of unexpected heroism and the power of looking beyond appearances. As the village gathered, eyes wide and whispers loud, Mustapha stood before Sarkin Danjuma, Princess Amina by his side. The air was thick with anticipation. Mustapha, once thought a mere village drunkard, held the attention of all. I know the name of your daughter, he declared proudly. Amina. But Mustapha had one more surprise, a secret that would change everything. I am not who you think I am, he began, his voice steady and strong. I am Prince Mustapha from a neighboring village. I came here not as a fool, but in disguise to learn the true heart of your daughter. The village gasped, eyes turning from Mustapha to Amina, then back again. The man they had mocked was a prince, wise and cunning, who had seen past the game to the truth beneath. Amina smiled at Mustapha, her eyes shining with respect and something deeper, a connection forged in understanding and kindness. She had seen many suitors, men of wealth and strength, but none had sought to know her as Mustapha had. He had shown wisdom, seen beyond titles and appearances, to the heart of who she was. Sarkin Danjuma, moved by Mustapha's revelation and his daughter's happiness, agreed to the marriage. You have proven yourself wise and true, he said to Mustapha, worthy of my daughter. The wedding was like no other, a celebration that filled the village with music, laughter, and joy. Amina, once thought foolish, stood proudly beside Prince Mustapha, her heart united with his in love and respect. As Amina set off with Prince Mustapha to begin their new life, the village was left in a state of wonder. They had judged the princess and Mustapha, labeling them foolish without truly seeing their hearts. But the love that Amina and Mustapha showed was not about titles or appearances, but about understanding, respect, and seeing the true worth of a person. The story of Princess Amina and Prince Mustapha became a legend in the village. It was a tale of wisdom, equality, and the power of love, a reminder to all that true nobility comes not from birth or wealth, but from the wisdom of the heart and the courage to see beyond the surface. As the sun set on the village, casting a golden glow over the land, the people whispered of the day's wonders. Their hearts were filled with a new understanding. Amina and Mustapha journeyed forward, their futures bright with promise, leaving behind a village forever changed by the lessons of their tale. The village learned to look beyond appearances and titles, to seek the true essence of a person. Amina and Mustapha's love, born from understanding and respect, became a symbol of what it means to truly connect with another soul. Their story was told for generations, a cherished legend that reminded everyone that love, in its purest form, is about seeing the heart beyond the crown and the wisdom beyond the facade. And so, as the stars twinkled in the night sky, the village embraced the new era with open hearts and minds. The tale of Princess Amina and Prince Mustapha lived on, inspiring many to seek the true worth of others and to cherish the love that comes from seeing beyond the surface. The festival had come and gone, but the lessons learned and the love found would stay with the villagers forever. It was a story of courage, wisdom, and the beautiful journey to find a love that is true and enduring. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss an update. Drop a comment below with your thoughts or suggestions, and check out our other videos for more great content. See you next time.